APC suspends Ganduje over corruption allegation. Nigeria's inflation hits 33.20% as naira rebounds. Blackout as discos reports fresh national grid collapse. And on the foreign scene, 58 killed in 2 weeks of heavy rains in Tanzania. Welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now the news. The All Progressive Congress APC, in Ganduje's ward of Dawakin Tofa local government area of Kano State, has suspended the party's national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, from the party. The announcement was made by the ward's legal advisor, Haliru Gwanzo, who addressed journalists in Kano on Monday. Gwanzo cited allegations of bribery against Ganduje by the Kano State government as the reason for the suspension. He said the suspension subsists until he clears himself from the allegations. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, has called on all northern appointees to either support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu or step down from their positions. Matawalle's call came after Hakeem Baba Ahmed, who formerly served as the spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum and currently holds the position of Special Advisor on Political Matters in the presidency, expressed a differing opinion regarding the minister's defense of Tinubu's administration. On Saturday, the minister slammed the Northern Elders Forum for saying it regretted supporting Tinubu in the 2023 general elections. He described the action of the Northern Elders Forum as a political burden on the North. This comment, however, did not sit well with Baba Ahmed, who said Matawalle was ill-advised in his expose on Sunday, noting that a better defense could have been presented. However, in his defense, Matawalle, in a statement on Monday, said an appointee of the current administration, Baba Ahmed, needs to work towards his success and protect it from unwarranted criticism rooted in ethnic or narrow interests. Meanwhile, the rivalry between the 2020 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has heightened ahead of the 98th National Executive Committee meeting of the party. One of the major issues likely to take center stage at the NEC meeting scheduled for Thursday, April 18th, is a question of whether the party's acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, should remain in office or be replaced. There have been calls to remove Damagum and choose a substantive chairman. Damagum, formerly PDP National Deputy Chairman, North, became the party's acting national chairman following the suspension of the party's national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu, by the court in March last year. The court action leading to Ayu's suspension was filed by a PDP member, Therhide Uthan, who based his request on an earlier vote of no confidence passed in Ayu by the executive of his ward. Last week, 60 members of the House of Representatives demanded Damagum's exit, adding that a substantive chairman should be picked from the North Central region. Findings revealed that a former governor of Benue State, Gabriel Suswam, and a former deputy national secretary of the PDP, Emmanuel Agbo, are pushing for the position of the PDP national chairman. Now, away from that, Nigeria's inflation rate jumped to 33.2% in March 2024, compared to that of February, which was 31.70%. This is according to the National Bureau of Statistics Consumers Price Index report released on Monday. The March 2024 headline inflation rate showed an increase in 1.5 percentage points when compared to February 2024 headline inflation rate. The NBS said on a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 11.16 percentage points higher compared to the rate recorded in March 2023, which was 22.04%. On a month-on-month basis, it said the headline inflation rate in March 2024 was 3.2%, which was 0.10% lower than the rate recorded in February 2024. The inflation report by the NBS followed the hike in Nigeria's interest rate from 22.75% to 24.75% by the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The inflation rate was released at a time when measures by the Apex Bank to strengthen the naira against foreign exchange have seen some positive results. The naira has appreciated against the dollar in recent weeks, gaining over 40% from about $1,900 to about $1,100 now. Meanwhile, Nigeria's headline inflation rose to 33.2%, data from the National Bureau of Statistics has shown. In a report on Monday, it said that headline inflation rate, which was 31.70% in February, showed an increase of 1.50 percentage points. Also, food inflation increased to 40%, with prices of gari, akpu, watermelon, among others, given as the reason for the increase. Now, it stated that on a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 11.16 percentage points higher compared to the rate recorded in March 2023, which was 22.04%. It added that a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in March 2024 was 3.2%, which was 0.10% lower than the rate recorded in February 2024 at 3.12%. It said the food inflation rate in March 2024 was 40.1% on a year-on-year basis, which was 15.56% higher compared to the rate recorded in March 2023 at 24.45%. Meanwhile, Nigeria's electricity grid has collapsed again. The grid collapsed around 2:42 a.m. on Monday morning, with generation dropping to 47.70 megawatts, with only one generation company, Imo Power, active. According to data from the Independent System Operator, a branch of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, this is the sixth collapse in 2024. A statement from Just Discos that confirmed the collapse said the current outage being experienced within the franchise state is a result of loss of power supply from the national grid. The statement by its head of corporate affairs, Friday Abdullahi Elijah, stated the company hoped the grid is restored for normal power supply to its esteemed customers. Meanwhile, the Transmission Company of Nigeria has announced a full restoration of the national grid following a fire incident at the Afam power generation station, which it said caused a partial disturbance of the national grid. The grid's collapse, which occurred at about 2:41 a.m. on Monday, left the country with 64.70 megawatts. A statement by TCN's General Manager in Public Affairs, Ndidimba, said a fire erupted at the Afam V 330 kV bus bar cupola, leading to the tripping off of units at Afam 3 and Afam 5. Mba said this resulted in a sudden generation loss of 25 megawatts and 305 megawatts respectively, destabilizing the grid and causing a partial collapse. TCN confirmed in the statement that the affected section of the grid has been fully restored and stabilized. It reaffirmed its commitment to enhancing the resilience and reliability of the national grid and pledged to continue investing in measures aimed at strengthening the grid infrastructure. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army, deployed for counterterrorism and counterinsurgency operations in Taraba and Benue states, have arrested a gun runner for the kidnap attempt and exterminated a terrorist. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Imo State said in Taraba State, troops in collaboration with vigilantes apprehended one Mansour Mohammed at Jalingo Motor Park, who has been reportedly involved in gun-running activities with terrorists. According to General Nwachukwu, his arrest led to the arrest of all the members of his syndicate, as well as the recovery of one semi-automatic pump-action gun, one locally fabricated gun, a Peugeot car, 5 mobile phones, and a sum of 45,000 naira. He said in a separate operation, troops on routine patrol in Miyande village in Takum local government area of Taraba State intercepted 2 terrorist suspects who concealed an automatic rifle underneath the seat of a motorbike. General Nwachukwu said troops recovered one AK-47 rifle, 5 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, and a motorcycle. In another development, troops responded to a distress call and successfully foiled the kidnap attempt within Zakibiam town in Zakibiam local government area of Benue State. During the intervention, troops neutralized one kidnapper in a shootout with the criminals and recovered a Beretta pistol with 4 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Still on security issues, operatives of the Imo State Police Command anti-kidnapping unit have apprehended a notorious kidnap kingpin, Aralu Chukwudi Karis of Otolo in the Nnewi local government area of Anambra State. The operation that was led by CSP Oladimeji Odedeyiwa was carried out at the hideout of the suspect at Mbidi in Oru East local government area of Imo State on Saturday, April 13, 2024, where he was ambushed and eventually arrested. The suspect, who was paraded at the command's headquarters, Owerri, was said to have masterminded several kidnappings and armed robbery operations in Imo State. Speaking to newsmen on Monday, the command spokesman, Henry Okoye, said the operatives recovered one ash-colored Toyota Camry, 2005 model with registration number MUS 509DS Lagos, reportedly snatched from the victim, was recovered. He further said that the suspect would be arraigned in court upon completion of a comprehensive investigation. Meanwhile, the Oyo State government on Monday described Saturday's invasion of the state secretariat in Ibadan, the state capital, by self-acclaimed Yoruba nation agitators as an act of terrorism. The State Commissioner for Information, Dotun Oyelade, who spoke with journalists in Ibadan on Monday, condemned the act, saying there are better ways of agitation other than craving for bloodshed. Some marks people in military camouflage suspected to be Yoruba nation agitators invaded the secretariat at Agodi in Ibadan on Saturday morning. Eyewitness said the marksmen were stationed at different locations within the area. The situation, according to the investigation, sent panic to residents and road users along the routes. The commissioner also said sponsors of the invasion have landed themselves in trouble. Normalcy has since returned to Ibadan, the state capital, with residents going about their normal duties. This is a news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Sellers, buyers lament high cost of food despite drop in dollar. More news when we return. To stay. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. APC suspends Ganduje over corruption allegations. Nigeria inflation rate hits 33.20% as naira rebounds. Moving on, a fire outbreak has destroyed shops and properties worth millions of naira at the Yola main market, Yola South local government area of Adamawa State. The inferno, which started past midnight, lasted through the early hours of Monday. The report.
Ashes and debris. This is what is left of the properties belonging to traders at the Yola Town Market after an early Monday fire disaster. The devastating damages caused by the inferno is extensive as authorities struggle to salvage properties. Traders are now left counting their losses.
No, we just had around something like 3 o'clock. The colors that sell at the market have already got fire. So on the way coming here, I see that most of our items here has already burned. Even this my neighbor Musa and some others, all their things just catch fire. My view for the government is that please let them come and consider us here. Yeah, many things have already lost here. Millions of nairas. Millions. Can't you see what is happening here now? Can't you see that?
Truth of the matter is, Yola Market was in fire, was on flame as at early this morning. Now it is on ashes. The totality of Yola Market is burnt. Because this is the main taste of the market. The traders, provision sellers, groundnut and groundnut oil sellers and all other form of oils are gone. The wrappers, materials, utensils, and some other materials are burnt down to ashes as a Yola. We call on government to make a quick response, a quick intervention to the Yola marketers, please. No, we have not recovered from the last incident of the fire. It happened, this is what I can recall. I can recall at least 3 times of the same fire incidents. The last one was just not more than a good year. It happened in the same scenario, the same area. And eventually it is happening this morning. Please let the government come into our intervention. We are suffering and we have not recovered yet. It is another fresh incident. As I heard from the people, they were complaining about the thunder and whatever. Because as at the time of the fire incidents, I want to believe that there was no fire. My house is not half far away from the Yola Market. And there was no traces of fire. And there's no traces of electricity as at then. I don't think there is anyone using generator to leave it till night. So most of the people are believing that it was due to the thunder hitting yesterday night. There was a thunder strike throughout the night while it was raining.
Hours after the incident, the Adamawa State Deputy Governor visited the scene to ascertain the level of damage while assuring the victims of a proper investigation and intervention to bring succor.
For now, we cannot tell how many shops have been affected. We cannot also tell the source of the fire. But government will ensure that that is discreetly looked into to find out what happened, why it happened, and how many people are affected. And government will see what it can do to bring succor to our people, because this government is a government that has a feeling of its people at heart. It's a government that believes in building its people. It's a government that believes in ensuring that the people are carried along. So this government will definitely do something about it. Our call to our traders is that when you are raising your shops, please allow space so that vehicles can come in. When there's no space, when there's a fire outbreak like this, it's difficult for even the people that will bring aid to come in. So it's essential that we build our shops, allowing spaces for vehicular movement at a time of emergencies like the one we have today.
In January 2016, a similar fire incident had gutted shops at the same Yola Market, and many shops were burnt in that incident.
Moving away, the rebound in naira exchange rates against the dollar and other global currencies is said to be leading to a drop in the prices of some commodities in the domestic market. Analysts at Financial Derivative Company Limited have said that the naira at the official and parallel markets rebound to 1,260 naira and $1,225 to a naira. As widely expected, the prices of some food items are supposed to have begun adjusting in line with the sustained naira appreciation. In this report, Noel Sampson visits the tackle markets in the Federal Capital Territory and speaks to sellers and buyers of foodstuffs to ascertain if the appreciation of the naira against the dollar has led to a downward review in prices of foodstuffs in the markets. The report.
At the popular Utaku market in the Federal Capital Territory, sellers of food items said the prices of some goods are coming down, while others have remained the same despite the depreciation of the naira against the dollar.
It is still high. The price is still on the high side, so I didn't see anything reduced or anything that has come down. So I'm not sure of that. So my goods, the one I used to sell here is 70,000, like Nigerian rice, 70K. While foreign rice is 95K.
Actually, price of some goods are reducing, but not all. For instance, Indomie, this Indomie now, the super pack used to be 18,000, we say 18,500, 18,300, but now it has come down to 12,300, 12,500 thereabout. So that one is okay now. At least people are able to buy before they come and share, because it's too expensive. They can't pay for. It's not everybody can afford it. So we are sharing for people that cannot afford it. So Indomie has come down very okay. Some goods will not just come down like that, because people have to say the way they put it. You understand? So that is just, so I have to buy new one for me to be able to sell the current price.
However, buyers of food items said things are getting even more expensive despite the reduction in the naira to dollars exchange rate.
You never reduce those. The thing increase more and more every day by day. Like a bag of rice now is 80,000 naira. 80,000. Bag of gari cost well. Even apple where they buy 100 naira before, now 100 naira. Apple is 200, 300.
Nothing come down, no, it increase. Even pepper self. Pepper no get 100 naira pepper, now 200, and the 200 say you use and do something cook well with that.
As the cost of food items remain expensive, there's a direct cost on low-income earners, many of whom are unable to increase their wages to offset the rising cost of living. This can lead to reduction in real incomes, a worsening of diets, and growing problems of malnutrition. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, on the foreign scene, floods have killed 58 people in Tanzania during the last 2 weeks, the government said, as heavy rains continue in the East African country. The coastal region was hit hardest with 126,831 people affected, according to the government. Government spokesperson Mobare Mitini said on Sunday that essential supplies, including food, had been distributed to those affected. Tanzania plans to construct 14 dams to prevent flooding in future, he added. East Africa is experiencing heavy rains, with reported flooding in neighboring Kenya, killing at least 13 people so far. Infrastructure has also been damaged, and those living in flood-prone areas are being urged to move. The rains are expected to reach their peak towards the end of this month. Still on the foreign scene, Britain on Monday announced sanctions against businesses linked to the warring parties in Sudan, which is facing a major humanitarian disaster after a year of conflict. Fighting, which broke out between rival generals in North African country on April 15th last year, has killed thousands and caused an estimated 1.8 million people to flee to neighboring countries. Aid workers say the conflict has led to a catastrophe in the country of 48 million, with many civilians enduring starvation, sexual violence, large-scale ethnic killings, and execution. The Foreign Office said strict measures will include an asset freeze on companies linked to the Sudanese Armed Forces and its rival, the Parliamentary Rapid Support Forces. Targets of the sanctions include Al-Kajid Bank, a financial institution that has been financing the RSF, and Al-Fakar Advanced Works, a holding company used by the organization to export gold. It added that Red Rock Mining, a mining and exploration company which provides funds to the SAF, will also be sanctioned. Meanwhile, in sports, Stefano Tsitsipas beats Casper Ruud 6-1, 6-4 to win his third Monte Carlo Masters title in 4 years. Greece Tsitsipas, 25, dominated the opening stage and sealed the first set inside 36 minutes. Norwegian Ruud fought vigilantly in a tense second set, which was leveled at 4-4 before Tsitsipas pulled away in the final 2 games. The victory took Tsitsipas to 7th in the world rankings. The success concluded a significant tournament for Tsitsipas, as he also beat top 10 players Alexander Zverev and Jannik Sinner to reach the final. He joined Rafael Nadal, John Borg, Thomas Muster, and Eli Natase in the list of players to win 3 or more titles at Monte Carlo. With that, we have come to the end of Trust News Update. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. Thanks for watching. I am Lilian Okazi.